What's up, guys, and welcome back to Super Sammy Plays. Football Manager just dropped a brand new World Cup mode, and we are going to try and win the entire tournament. We've got some of the best players in the world, massive international rivalries, knockout football, penalty shootouts, and knowing Football Manager, probably some chaos as well. So let's see if we can become world champions. And if you couldn't tell from the shirt, we are going to be taking control of England for this. And this is the tactics that I went with. Basically a 4-2-3-1, but we did split the two centre mids, so one was a little bit more attacking. And yeah, if you want to use the instructions, these are what they are. Just pause them, and yeah, they are there for you. Pretty simple. Yeah, this is the squad that we went with. I won't go through all of it individually, but what I will do is tell you some of the main players that we actually cut from the squad, and that being Bowen, Foden, Madueke, and Luke Shaw. I also didn't take Jed Spence, who's obviously going in real life, because I didn't actually realise he wasn't even in the pool of players to even select from, and it was kind of like an afterthought. So we also didn't take him. I didn't take Livramento, who in real life I probably would take, but yeah. We also took a pretty surprising one in Jadon Sancho, and it's only because I know he's actually half decent on this game. So we took him as another backup option for one of the wide areas, and he will get some game time, as you'll see later on. So a bit of media attention after leaving out Foden and Bowen. And Carrick disagreeing that we left out Luke Shaw, but it is what it is. And this is our lineup as we play our first game in the group stage against Croatia. And some very recognisable faces for them as well. Perisic still playing, Kramaric still playing, Modric still playing. They've got a very old squad indeed. But we do start off with a bang. Jude Bellingham putting us 1-0 up inside 12 minutes. Great ball from Morgan Rogers to set him through on goal. We added a second in the 15th minute after a great ball from Jude Bellingham, finding Harry Kane one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and you know he's never, ever missing that chance. And yeah, good finish from him, making it 2. And then we add a third in 27 minutes. Bukayo Saka getting it back on his left foot, pulling it across, and Jude Bellingham with a first-time effort into the bottom corner to make it 3. We pretty much did all our work in the first half and stopped playing at half-time, allowing Croatia to come back into it a little bit with this great header. I'm not sure what Pick was doing. I probably should have saved that, but it was the only goal that we conceded as we went on to win 3-1. And then we played Ghana in the next game. Unchanged lineup for us. Some good players, though. Ghana have got some pretty dangerous players in Thomas Partey. And Kudus and Semenyo and Inaki Williams. And yeah, quite surprisingly, we actually went 1-0 down in the opening minute of the game. Inaki Williams absolutely pacing the life out of Konsa and finishing into the bottom corner. But thankfully, we turned it round. Saka from the corner, coming out to Ezri Konsa. He pulls it to Nico O'Reilly, and the youngster gets his first England goal to pull us back level and make it 1-1. Before we added another in the 29th, Saka. I think it was actually Saka who gave the ball away for the Ghana goal, and he was destined to make up for it as he played it through to Reece James, and his cross finding Harry Kane at the far post, and he heads into the bottom corner to make it 2-1, and we take the lead for the first time in this game. And after taking the lead, we never looked back as Saka, like I say, making up for that earlier mistake. Brilliant dribbling and a brilliant solo effort to make it 3-1. It was then made even easier, as in the 69th minute, Mensah absolutely hacked Saka down and got given a straight red card, meaning the last 20 minutes of the game should be fairly easy against the 10 men of Ghana. And we added another in the 79th minute. I brought Cole Palmer on for Jude Bellingham by this point, and he cuts it back to Saka, and he gets another goal to make it 4-1, and a nice, comfortable victory as we go on to win 4-1 and make it 2 out of 2. And on to the third game, we had Panama, and they'd actually won both of their opening games as well. So we were both going into this game on 6 points. And yeah, so this was whoever wins goes on to top the group and obviously get the easier run going forwards. And I'd rotated the full squad in this one, apart from Jordan Pickford and Anthony Gordon repaying the faith, putting us 1-0 up in the opening 20 minutes. Before Cole Palmer looked to have found Ollie Watkins for a goal, but unfortunately it was given as offside. And I'm not entirely sure where this offside came from, because to me, this looks onside. The line is not in the correct place from the defender, but it was unfortunately given offside anyway. Not that it made a difference, as Cole Palmer added a second in the 34th minute before we went on to add a third in the 36th. Corner from Trent, cleared to the edge with Eze, and Cole Palmer driving it home from range to make it 3 as he gets his second goal of the game. Panama went looking for a goal themselves in the 65th minute, and we clear it, and this is just absolutely brilliant work from James Garner. He breaks, absolutely pacing their number 7 to get into the box, pulls it across to the edge of the box. Palmer fakes onto his right foot and hits it into the far corner to get his hat-trick, but what play that was from James Garner. That was all him from the clearance. And we added a 5th in the 86th minute. Gets spread out wide to Rashford. He pulls it back to Kobbie Mainoo. And James Garner now finding Bellingham. Sancho with a great first time pass into Harry Kane, who I thought would give him a chance to stat pad a little bit, and he gets on the score sheet as we wrap up the game 5-0. And yeah, apparently a shock result that we won 5-0 against Panama. So the pundits are still very much doubting us. But on to the first knockout round games. Scotland knocking Sweden out with a massive 5-1 win, and Germany having to go to penalties to knock South Korea out before Brazil go home after the Netherlands beat them in extra time. Haaland's dream of the Golden Boot is also over after they got knocked out by the Ivory Coast. But France, who are probably the big favourites for this competition, they go through with a 1-0 win over Morocco. So we had our second round game against Uzbekistan. So yeah, certainly favourites going into this one. And I think we pretty much went with an unchanged side apart from Cole Palmer. After that hat-trick, I decided to give him a start. And we'll see how he gets on. As in the opening 10 minutes, we do end up going 1-0 up. Nico O'Reilly spreads it out wide to Reece James. He cuts into the middle, pulls it back to Cole Palmer. His effort is deflected straight to Morgan Rogers, and he gets his first goal of the tournament to give us a 1-goal lead. Before we add another 10 minutes later, poor touch from the defender, giving it to Cole Palmer, and Harry Kane gets his first goal of the game to make it 2-0. Things were then made even easier after, I'm not sure what the pass was forward, but Morgan Rogers gets brought down in the box to give us a penalty and a chance to make it 3-0 in the opening 32 minutes. It's, dream start. Harry Kane, obviously, he's not missing from the penalty spot unless it's against France, of course. And we never look back from this point as we added another in the 48th to make it 4-0. Nico O'Reilly finding Reece James. He sends it all the way back, and Nico O'Reilly pulls it in back to Morgan Rogers, who gets his second goal of the game as we go on to win 4-0. So the race for the Golden Boot was heating up at this point as Lukaku added another goal. He'd scored 4 in one of the earlier games as well, so he was looking favourite for it at this point. And America continue as they knocked out Bosnia. And then we see our first big defeat in the tournament, or the big first exit more than anything, as Argentina knock out Spain in extra time. Bruno Fernandes getting a hat-trick against Panama as they went on to win 5-0. We then see another emerging contender for the Golden Boot as Omar Marmoush scores a hat-trick in a 5-1 win against Turkey. And surprisingly, Uruguay getting absolutely slapped by Austria as they go out, losing 4-1. And unfortunately, after I brought him on for the last 10 minutes of the last game, Tony has picked up an injury and he's going to be out for the next 2 to 3 months. So he is going to miss the rest of the tournament, unfortunately. But these are the round of 16 ties as 2 noticeable games there in Germany, France and Portugal, Argentina. And the first one with quite a surprise result as the Netherlands get knocked out by Switzerland and France send Germany home after a big 4-2 win. But onto our game, we played Ecuador in this one, and that is how we lined up. Cole Palmer getting a start on the right wing again after 2 impressive performances. And unfortunately, that is where it's going to end as he picked up a very early injury in this one. And yeah, Saka obviously ready to come in for him, but not ideal losing a player like that so early on. But we do get a nice early goal in this one, 33 minutes. Ezri Konsa scoring his first England goal, getting his head onto a Declan Rice free kick. Before Ecuador actually nearly surprised us. Brilliant play from Plata as he goes round everyone and hits the post. And yeah, we get away with one there. Declan Rice looks to add one of his own from this free kick. But unfortunately, good save from the goalkeeper. Keeps it out to keep the scoreline at 1-0. But we do add a second in the 67th minute. That man Saka, obviously on for an injured Cole Palmer, pulls it back to Jude Bellingham. And what a finish that is. First time from Jude. And yeah, certainly one that I wanted to have another look at because he caught this one pretty clean. Great bit of play from Saka down the line and a first time finish. Looked like it went through the defender's legs, and you know the goalkeepers never tend to save those. We added a third in the 79th minute, and it was Saka doing all the work again as he goes past his man and fires it into the far corner to make it 3. And a lovely ball out to him from Marcus Rashford. And yeah, that turn and stop and then the pace injection absolutely blasting past the defender. Open it up for him to give him his goal before he added another one in the 94th minute on his weak foot, blasting it into the near post to wrap up the game nicely. So, obviously, we won 4-0 and Scotland get knocked out by the Ivory Coast 4-1. And unfortunately, Cole Palmer is going to be out for 9 days to 2 weeks. And as you can see, we play on the Sunday and the World Cup final is 2 weeks from the day of this injury. So, he has got all the work to do to try and get back for that World Cup final should we make it. But an even bigger blow to the tournament as Kylian Mbappe has picked up an injury and will miss the rest of the World Cup through the injury, which means France are without their star man. And what a round of 16 tie this was as Portugal played Argentina, CR7 versus Messi, and it is CR7 coming out on top as he scored in a 2-1 victory thanks to a 91st minute João Felix goal. And Lukaku will not be adding any more goals for his Golden Boot challenge as the USA knock them out with a 1-0 victory. Marmoush, though, will be looking to take the Golden Boot as he adds another 2 goals in a 3-2 victory over Austria. And Croatia knock out Japan after a thrilling penalty shootout. And these are how the quarterfinals are looking. As France play Switzerland, Portugal play America, Ivory Coast play us in England, and Egypt welcome Croatia. I mean, if we've got any chance at winning this World Cup, this is potentially it. And our chances were improved even more after France were knocked out after a 0-0 draw with Switzerland. They lost on penalties, and yeah, Nkunku and Dembele missing penalties. You would imagine Mbappe would have been taking one of those, so very big shock, not expecting that to happen, but you would expect even without Mbappe, the players that France have got, that they should still win that game. Portugal ended America's home advantage as they went through after a 2-1 victory. And we have picked up another injury with Reece James picking up Achilles tendonitis, so he's going to be out for 1 to 4 days. So not a major injury, but it does mean he will miss this next match against the Ivory Coast. And this is how the Ivory Coast are lining up, and yeah, some pretty good players in there. Very strong team indeed. And yeah, we make 2 changes going into this one with Trent coming in at right back for the injured Reece James and Saka obviously coming in for injured Cole Palmer. So, and the Ivory Coast give us a helping hand in this one very early on, as in 16 minutes, Morgan Rogers is brought down right on the corner of the box, giving us a penalty. And Harry Kane bags another penalty, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way to put England 1-0 up. Before Morgan Rogers scores what is probably one of the goals of the tournament. Great turn and finish from the edge of the box to make it 2-0, and definitely one worth watching again. Great finesse into the top corner, and yeah, what a strike that was. We go close in the 82nd minute as the corner gets cleared. Jadon Sancho plays a 1-2 with Trent, and Sancho goes for it himself, shooting just wide of the post. Before we go close again in the 87th with James Garner shooting from miles out, but it makes no difference as we still go on to win 2-0. Meanwhile, Egypt went on to beat Croatia 3-0 and Omar Marmoush picks up another goal, and these are the semi-finals now as we are going to play Marmoush in the next round as Switzerland play Portugal in the other semi-final. And at the moment, you will see highest average rating and top goal scorer is in fact Omar Marmoush with 10 goals in 6 appearances. That's pretty mental. Lukaku was on 8, and we have Harry Kane on 6, so he has got all the work to do if he wants to become the top goal scorer. We do have Reece James in joint third for the assists, so potentially a chance at one of our players getting an individual award from this. So the first semi-final was Switzerland versus Portugal, and Portugal went on to win 3-0 with that man Cristiano Ronaldo getting the opener. And he will be looking to emulate 2022 for Lionel Messi as Portugal head to the final. But who are they going to play? Us or Egypt? So we line up with the only change being Reece James back in at right back. The rest of the squad remains the same. And Trezeguet, Salah and Marmoush, the attacking threats for Egypt. And they certainly showed that in the opening 15 minutes as they went pretty close. As Trezeguet shooting from range, drawing a save from Pickford. And then they actually went through and scored in just before half-time. Is El Araki down the right wing, crossing it to the far post. And Pickford, what he is doing there is absolutely beyond me. Caught in no man's land, and Mohamed Trezeguet opens the scoring. And panic stations for us. Egypt looked like they added a second in the 62nd minute. As Salah down the right plays a great ball in behind to Saber, who finds Marmoush in the middle, who tucks home to what would have been 2-0, but thankfully for us, he was a good yard or two offside and keeps us in the game. And we certainly said thank you and took advantage of that as Saka pulled one back and equalised in the 65th minute to give us a great chance to potentially go through, and we went pretty close. Nico O'Reilly drawing a save at the goalkeeper, but I think it was actually offside in the build-up. And then Saka really should be doing better here as he has an effort saved, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. He then has another chance. All the chances seem to be falling onto his right foot, unfortunately, bringing out another save in the goalkeeper. And then an absolute moment of madness as Reece James brings down the attacking Egyptian player. And he's already on a yellow card, which means we are potentially, say if we survive this free kick, heading into extra time with 10 men as Reece James gets sent off. So we did survive that free kick and we went looking for a winner. In the 106th minute, straight from kickoff, Ollie Watkins up front for us now. And Sancho playing him through on goal, and he has an effort saved from the goalkeeper. It was shot pretty much straight at him. But then in the 107th minute, he gets his head onto a Declan Rice corner to give us a 2-1 lead. And the 10 men of England are now 2-1 up against Egypt, having done a full turnaround. We looked like we added a third literally 2 minutes later as Jadon Sancho put it into the back of the net. But unfortunately, he was offside. And pretty lazy movement from him as he never ever got back onside in the first place. And then after a horrific pass from James Garner, Egypt look like they've pulled level. That man Marmoush banging it into the back of the net. But for the second time in this game, he's given offside, and rightfully so. And we go through to win 2-1 and go through to the World Cup final. And I'm not sure what we were doing in training, but we are going to be without our starting left back, Nico O'Reilly, as he has picked up an injury, twisting sharply in training, and he's going to be out for 3 to 5 weeks. So he's certainly going to miss the remainder of this tournament, and Lewis Hall is going to get a start in the final. Egypt must have lost all motivation after losing to us as they went on to lose 3-1 to Switzerland in the third place playoff as they conceded 3 goals from the 86th minute onwards. So this is it, one more game, the World Cup final versus Portugal. We go into it with our backups in full-back areas as Lewis Hall and Trent both get a start, and Anthony Gordon also starting on left wing as Morgan Rogers wasn't quite fit enough. Portugal full strength, not missing a single player, haven't picked up a single injury in the entire tournament. And yeah, they are going to be desperate to try and win this. And they have got everyone at their disposal. I'm quite surprised with the actual walkouts that they didn't have the World Cup trophy where the ball was, which is I feel like that's a bit of a trick missed by Sports Interactive, but I feel like there should have been a little bit more as well, because this just looks the same opening as any other game in this World Cup mode. It is going to be us that start the brighter in 6 minutes as Lewis Hall pulling it back to Declan Rice. And Rice shooting and hitting the crossbar. Coming back to Saka, but nothing actually ended up happening from this point. But after 11 minutes, just like the Ivory Coast game, we get given a massive helping hand after Lewis Hall gets brought down by, I'm not sure what Ruben Diaz is doing, but Ruben Diaz giving us a penalty, and Harry Kane steps up, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way to give us a 1-goal lead in the World Cup final. And could this be our year? No mistake from Harry Kane as he sends Diogo Costa, the wrong way. We go looking for a second in the 16th minute with Anthony Gordon, and a brilliant bit of skill from him to go round the fullback. Unfortunately, his shot is saved for a corner though, which nothing comes from. And then in the 26th minute, Harry Kane finding Gordon with a brilliant ball through to Saka, and he has to do better there. But again, he shoots at the goalkeeper and it is saved before we finally do get a second, and Gordon with his second attempt. The Barcelona fans will be hoping for plenty of that if he does go and sign for them, which is looking likely. But it wasn't going to go all our own way as Bernardo Silva cuts back onto his left foot, pulling it back to Cristiano Ronaldo in the middle, and he gets Portugal back into it as the scoreline goes to 2-1. And yeah, brilliant from Bernardo Silva, and Cristiano just getting a couple of yards free from Anderson, and you just know he's never missing from that situation. And then an absolute moment of madness. In the 45th minute, going towards extra time, Trent Alexander-Arnold, what are you doing? 2-footing Cristiano Ronaldo and getting a straight red card, meaning we're going to play the entire second half with 10 men. But it does look, though, things seem to be going our way as Goncalo Ramos bangs it in the back of the net to equalise. But thankfully for us, he was just offside. Very tight, this one. And we get away with one there. But in the 67th minute, we actually added another goal for ourselves as Ezri Konsa, our makeshift right back after the Trent red card, finding Anderson, pulling it into the middle, and Bukayo Saka does score on his weak foot to make it 3-1. And yeah, brilliant work from Ezri Konsa to find Anderson, holding the ball up, and then a lovely pass into the middle, and Saka firing into the bottom corner. And we went on to win the World Cup at my first time of asking, by the way. I was well impressed with this. I certainly did not expect to win this on the first try. But we do go on to win, and Harry Kane lifting the trophy. And yeah, if this happens in the next couple of months, I will certainly be delighted, as I would imagine the rest of the country will be. But yeah, what a moment. And that will be Kane's last hurrah as England captain, as he's decided to step down after we won the tournament, suggesting that somebody younger should take the mantle over. He hasn't retired, just stepped down. And Marmoush, unsurprisingly, winning best player and golden boot after his 10 goals and 5 assists as well. Yeah, what a performance from him. Lamine Yamal winning young player of the tournament even after the early exit of Spain, getting 3 goals and 4 assists in 4 games. Pretty good going. Cobel won goalkeeper of the tournament, and for the dream team, we actually had 5 players in it with Gahey, Nico O'Reilly, Morgan Rogers, Declan Rice and Saka getting in the dream team. So no space for Harry Kane, but yeah, Lukaku and Marmoush both scored more goals than him, so unsurprising there. So yeah, we did actually go on to win it at the first time of asking, and yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the replayability of this mode is, but it was certainly enjoyable, and I'm not entirely sure what more that they can actually do with it other than I don't think they've got all of the official licenses in yet. I don't think the England kits and stuff were in yet. So yeah, but I might play this with another team. Let me know in the comment section who you think that team should be, and if that's something you want to see. And if you like the video, do me a favour, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.